Natalie Diaz was born and raised in the Fort Mojave Indian Village in Needles, California, on the banks of the Colorado River. She is Mojave and an enrolled member of the Gila River Indian tribe. Her first poetry collection, When My Brother Was an Aztec, available on the merchandise table, was published by Copper Canyon Press. She's a Lannan Literary Fellow and a Native Arts Council Foundation Artist Fellow. She was awarded a Breadloaf Fellowship, the Holmes National Poetry Prize, a Hodder Fellowship, and a Penn Sabatella Ranieri Foundation Residency, as well as being awarded a U.S. Artist Ford Fellowship. Diaz teaches at the Arizona State University MFA program. She splits her time between the East Coast and the Mojave Valley, Arizona, where she works to revitalize the Mojave language. Welcome to the stage, Natalie.
Bienvenidos a todos. I'm lucky to be here tonight with all of you, and thank you. Thank everybody for their work on this, and all of you for sticking it out. This is a long reading, so I'm glad you guys love poetry as much as we do. I asked Jericho, I said, do you already know what you're reading? And he said, yes, I'm a professional. And I don't know what I'm reading yet. I'm going to figure this out soon. American arithmetic. Native Americans make up less than 1% of the population of America. 0.8% of 100%. Oh, mine efficient country. I do not remember the days before America. I do not remember the days when we were all here. Police kill Native Americans more than any other race. Race is a funny word. Race implies someone will win, implies I have as good a chance of winning as... Who wins the race which isn't a race? Native Americans make up 1.9% of all police killings, higher than any race, and we exist as 0.8% of all Americans. Sometimes race means run. We are not good at math. Can you blame us? We've had an American education. We are Americans, and we are less than 1% of Americans. We do a better job of dying by police than we do existing. When we are dying, who should we call? The police or our senator? Please, someone call my mother. In arithmetic and in America, divisibility has rules. Divide without remainder. At the National Museum of the American Indian, 68% of the collection is from the United States. I am doing my best to not become a museum of myself. I am doing my best to breathe in and out. I am begging. Let me be lonely, but not invisible. But in this American city with all its people, I am Native American, less than one, less than whole. I am less than myself, only a fraction of a body. Let's say I am only a hand. And when I slip it beneath the shirt of my lover, I disappear completely. I have been, I like to do collaborations. I love poetry, and the way I come to poetry is often through other forms of art. The way I arrived at poetry was basketball, and a lot of the ways that I come back to it are through things like architecture or linguistics or language work. And so one of the collaborations that I've been doing is with a friend of mine. She's an incredible person and poet, and her name is Ada Limon. And she and I have been writing, we kind of call them like letter poems, even though we're not necessarily writing in the letter form. But I'm going to read a couple of those. They're brand new. We haven't had a lot of time to really, we're really just not even editing. We're just writing back and forth. So I'm going to read you 3 of those, not hers, but I'll just read mine in exchange. She began the poem, and then I replied. Eastbound soon. I am back in my desert after many years, the Mojave. This desert was once an ocean. Maybe this is why I feel myself drowning most places. Now it's the driest desert on our continent. Bone dry, we say, even though 1/3 of the weight of a living bone is water. We know nothing about ourselves. I have my passport with me these days too, like you and Manuel, not because of ice raids, but because I know what it's like to want to leave your country, my country. To say it is half begging, half joke. Lately I settle for an hour instead of a country. What joy might be in this hour, I ask myself, and there is much. 2 nights ago I watched bedside lamplight rush like a mettled bird to the inside of my lover's elbow, and fall more still and bright across the soft underside of her forearm, then disappear quickly into her palm and shadowed palm surging again brilliant along her fingers. A wave of moonlight riding the dusked rails of her arms. I was tied there, to the moon, those tracks, fasteners, sleepers, and spikes, bound in light, unbolted from my sadness by the fast engine of joy. The Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway runs our desert. Its trains cry out into star-thick nights, split desert darkness and heat with their own. In Needles, California, Mojave women sold beads and pottery at the old El Garces Hotel, built for the train stop. Houdini's wife died on our line, on an eastbound train from Los Angeles to New York. Her body was removed at the Needles stop. I'm eastbound myself soon, for a reading at the Whitney, for love or art, for the grime of New York, and the grime I might make of my body in that splendid city.